So I'm ready to start my project. So you go get a straw, as long as it's not a metal one, it doesn't matter what kind. And you want to cut it to, not real long and not real short. It's used as a gauge to help you keep your pine needles together. So I'm just going to cut this off, put it aside. And so now this is my gauge where I'm going to put the needles in. And so what I do is I get my needles that have already been soaked in water so they're moist. And let me get them all at one size. And when you get them all to one side, then you're going to kind of put them in here inside of your straw. Like that. But so I have plenty of room, and so I want it a little bit snug. So I need to put a few more in here. Messy. I had them all nice and straight, and then they got messy. Anyway, it's not exactly like working with material with string, but kind of, sort of. And I put some more in here, and there's still plenty of space because I can put it in here really easy. And you just have to feel it, because if you have too much, it's like putting spaghetti right into a little gauge. I could probably put a few more in there. You don't want it too tight because it needs to move around. You smell those pine needles. Reminds you of fall. So this is plenty. So you just feel the straw. I mean this, and you want them. You start out with them even like this, and you want them to kind of stick out. And you pull them out a little bit because this is just going to be your starter. Don't worry about this because it has no bearing on anything. And this, if it's not even, you just cut it off. I just like to kind of start it even. And so I decided to use kind of the browns. And this is the wax. And you want to get it long enough, and the wax doesn't really tangle. And you can put a knot in it. Some, when you have thinner, then you can kind of go in between, like when you're doing embroidery work. But I'm going to go ahead and put a knot in this. I've seen people do different things, and I think it's your own taste where you just don't want it to come out. But you're not going to start really sewing with this first. You're going to start wrapping it around. I was looking to see if I had my needle on here or not. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it where it's just close together. And you push them. And you don't want it too tight, and you don't want it too loose, because you're going to want this to stay. So I'm just going to push these together. And you want to do a pretty good amount, because you're going to bend this around. This is your beginning point. If you were crocheting, you would have to turn it around, right? So you're going to turn it like this. So see, I need to have some more on there. Because I didn't need my knot on that side. It doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to thread my needle. I'm just going to flatten this out so it goes through the eye easy. So the first one I did, it's kind of like when you learn to crochet and you have to do a circle and you're going, oh my gosh, this is way too hard, I don't want to do it. But once you get started, it's not that, I mean, it's easy. It's just getting this started. So I've curved it around. Let me get this up a little more. I'm going to put this I'm going to go all the way to the end. And then I'm going to get my string and I'm going to pull it up this way just so I can have a hold on to it. And then I'm going to bend it, curve it around, and you see that it's curved. And now I can start stitching. And if you're right-handed, you're going to want this open strand to your right. And you're just going to go through the center of the pine needles and go through the center of your thread. And you just put in single stitches because you're just trying to get it together. Okay. It's just single. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just putting it, and it's in the middle. So this one video on this one girl, she had pliers. And you're just going to keep going around. I'm going to cut these ends off right here. And see, this is why you need your needles to be damp, is so that you can continually moving. And see how that's already getting less, we need more needles. And so what you do is you just add them. And you just add them like you did originally. You just kind of get the bottoms even, and then you kind of put some in there until it's snug. And you push it, you don't have to push it all the way to the end, but you push it to where it's comfortable for the ends. And you have to add them frequently. So sometimes you're going, oh, I just want to continue to sew, but you're going to have to add them frequently just because they're short. And that's why I was saying, and that's what they require, or not require, but recommend that you don't work with any shorter needles, because you have to add the needles so frequently as you go around. But you just kind of put them inside your straw until it feels kind of snug. And I'm going, oh, I can put some more in there. I can't believe this survived. after I cut all those. I'll cut that in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started, but I wanted to show you how you add it so that you can continue weaving, sewing, whatever they call it, weaving. And get it in here. So I got it nice and snug. And so that way I can continue to go around. And then when I push it, I push this up so they won't just kind of all push kind of crazy. And that way, as you continue to weave around and sew, then it can bend around. All right, have fun.